Week 17 of the fantasy football season. Here's a few running backs I look to drop this week. The first guy, Kareem Hunt of the Cleveland Browns. So Kareem Hunt, it's been a bust of the season for him, no doubt about it. And now we'll see where he lands in free agency or if he goes back to the Browns after the year. But this season, he pretty much hasn't done anything. In the last few weeks here for Hunt, Week 13 at Houston, 9 carries, 56 yards, 2 catches, 18 yards. Week 14 at Cincy, 4 carries, 6 yards, 2 catches, 6 yards. Week 15 versus the Ravens, 4 carries, 24 yards, a catch for 3 yards. In Week 16 versus the Saints, 7 carries, 8 yards, 3 catches, 14 yards. Obviously, those numbers aren't getting it done. He's the backup over there. And ever since Deshaun Watson's been the starting quarterback for this Cleveland Brown team, Nick Chubb's numbers have gone down as well in their pass-happy team more than running. So he's an easy running back to drop this week. The next guy, Jonathan Taylor of the Indianapolis Colts. I know many fantasy owners might have not made it deep into the playoffs, but it's still surprising. Taylor's owned in 81% of fantasy leagues, out for the season, obviously with the ankle injury. So he finished the year 192 rush attempts, 861 rush yards, 4 touchdowns, 28 catches, 143 receiving yards, and 3 fumble losses. So right here, he was the number 1 pick in most fantasy drafts, and he definitely busted out with the injury and also underperforming for a lot of ball games here was Jonathan Taylor. So right now, in terms of going into next season, I think he's still a guy you're going to target anywhere from the 2nd to the 3rd round. He had a couple decent ball games, but this team's got to fix their offensive line over there in Indianapolis and get someone better at quarterback, because obviously Matt Ryan hasn't been the answer this season. So Taylor right now, hopefully has a speedy recovery, comes back next season. But he's a running back I would drop this week. And the third and final running back I look to drop this week's Cordell Patterson of the Atlanta Falcons. So right here over the last few weeks, Algier was taking over slowly. But the last 2 weeks now, he's getting a workload. And Cordell Patterson, he really hasn't done much as well anyway the last few weeks before Algier took over. Week 13 versus Pittsburgh, now won 11 carries, 60 yards. Week 15 at the Saints, 14 carries, 52 yards, a touchdown, 1 catch for no yards. In Week 16 at Baltimore, 8 carries, 17 yards, a catch for 14 yards. So right here, it's going to be tough to obviously play him and even roster him, because I think Algier is going to be the man, obviously, for the next few seasons over there for this Atlanta Falcon team. And Patterson, at least he had a couple decent games last season, and this season before he was injured, he had some big games. But now he's a backup running back or getting 40% of the touches at best. So that's a few running backs I look to drop for Week 17 of the fantasy football season.